So I was writing this video that you just clicked on over Skate, and I got most of the way through my script when I got my good buddy Jacob to download the game. And I was so validated when it took him an hour and a half to get through the tutorial, and he was uninterested and completely dejected by the whole thing. And something happened right towards the end that completely upended my entire perspective on this video game. This is going to be a Skate critique, but I'm not here to dump on the game just to be a unique little snowflake. I'm not unique, and I am not little. I'm just here because I love the series. I own several skateboards I can barely ride because Rob Dyrdek, Bam Margera, Tony Hawk's Underground, and Skate made it look so cool. You get the idea. I'm a skater boy. That being said, I'm sure you've pieced together through the title and thumbnail that I, like many of you, have a lot of love for the Skate series, and a little bit of melancholy towards where it's become. And yeah, I did use melancholy in a video about skateboarding. I'm deep like that. I was probably 12 years old when I saw Skate 2 had come out earlier in the year, so I did what I always did, and I guilt-tripped my grandfather into getting the game for me. So I got Skate 2 for $60, and then, damn it, I fell in love with it. There's so much to love about Skate 2. Career progression feels real and earned. You'd be riding through the city and you'd stop and you'd go, oh, shoot, well, I'm gonna skate this spot for the next 3 hours. And the soundtrack, oh my God, I just remembered, the soundtrack is so good. There's not a single song on that soundtrack that I'd really probably listen to outside of Skate, but inside of the game, every single song works perfectly. That was in 2009. I was like 12 years old. Skate 3 came out a year later, which still blows my mind, and Skate 3 was fine. They took out a lot of stuff that I felt like made Skate 2 cooler, but I was like, no, it's fine. They're gonna make another one here in a couple years, and it's gonna be bigger and cooler, and then fucking EA shut down Black Box. And every time somebody begged for Skate 4, EA shut it down for like a decade. I'm 28 now. Skate 4's announcement dropped in 2020, and they fucking hyped this thing up. And I was like, great, I'm so in. And then we didn't hear anything forever. I'm talking, we were in the dark for like 2 years. They finally announced stuff. The first trailer drops. And it's, well, it's just Skate, isn't it? Skate. Skate? Not Skate 4? Just Skate. It should have been right there that I realized something was up. They showed us the first look at everything, including the new parkour system, which is, interesting. They said you could sign up for early access, which I did, EA, and I never got in EA. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not bitter. I am actually. I am pretty bitter about that. I'm like the biggest Skate fan ever, and the fact that I didn't get into the open beta is absolutely astonishing to me. The fact that I had to wait and wait and wait and wait. We got playtest highlights like crazy. I watched leak footage on TikTok. I watched every single trailer as they came out, and it's online multiplayer only. What is that art style? It has a battle pass and a store, and I just have to play it. I just have to play it, and we'll be fine. We'll be fine. It'll be fine. So I waited, and I waited, and waited, and waited, and waited, and finally, 3 months ago, in the year of our Lord, 2025, I installed Skate so fast. I played it for like 6 hours that day. I told all my buddies to install it so we could roll together and pull off these huge lines from skyscraper to skyscraper like we saw in the beta footage. And we played it nonstop for a couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden we just dropped it, like we do all of these other online service games. I booted the game up the other day, and I finally got to finish up the tutorial, which would be fine if I didn't already have 20 hours in the damn thing. And like, fair, I spent a good portion of that playing with the boys, but if I'm being generous, it really did take like 3 hours to complete this tutorial. I just, Who are we making this game for? Babies? Like people who have never picked up a controller once in their life? Picking Skate back up last week might have been one of the worst things I've ever done to myself because it made me think about all the times I heard people go, oh, this game's so uninspired and boring and soulless. And I was just like, nah, dude, you just don't get it. Like, this game's not made for you anymore. But you are being super lame, but like, you're just being contrarian to be contrarian. And then I was like, oh my God, are they right? Nope. No, still wrong. Remember when I said something happened with Jacob that kind of shifted my whole perspective on Skate as a video game? Well, right at the end of the big tutorial, V, who I despise and we're definitely going to talk about later, she just gives you a objective to score 8,000 points. Just score 8,000 points however you want. Jacob was just skating around and all of a sudden he found this statue over here of these two birds, and I watched it click in real time where he was like, okay, if I go over here and I can go off of this and I can jump through. It was a complete perspective shift from this.
Why is it wanting me to climb this?
Up, brother.
Why is it wanting me to climb this? Why isn't it having me skate? Why isn't it having me do the whole point of the game to get to my objective? Why is it having me Assassin's Creed parkour up this building when it could have me skate all the way up here like the game says?
Oh, you missed that one. To this.
When it like said, "Hey, here's 8,000 points." At first I was just like, because I've just been trying to like ram through this whole thing. But then it's like, hey, I still have a ton more points, so now I have to think about like what I'm doing and like, okay, here's a cool spot.
And that's when I realized what's wrong with the new Skate. When it finally gets out of its own way and it stops telling you what to do and just lets you skate, it's incredible, but it takes an hour and a half to get there. And once you do get there, you're interrupted by all sorts of pop-ups and here's your dailies and this is what we need you to do, and hey, you unlocked this, so your level went up, and then because your level went up, you unlocked this thing, and it's got all of this online service bullshit. Speaking of interrupting, if you are in agreement with what I have to say so far, you might hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be putting videos out at least once every couple of weeks, and it'd be lovely to have you. Oh, shit. See, I played Skate 2 for years. I played the new Skate for a couple of weeks before I dropped it, not because the skating is bad. The skating is great. It's just everything around the skating is designed to get in the way. So what's changed? What's the difference between Skate 2 and now? They made it a live service. I fucking hate live services. Not because they're inherently bad, which they are, by the way, in my opinion. It's a vortex of cosmetics and emotes, and I'm getting off track, but I will get back to that. Fortnite works for millions of people. Apex works for people. But Skate was just never designed to be that. Skate 2 was a complete game. You bought it, you owned it, you played it for as long as you wanted. It had a campaign, there was no season, there was no battle passes, no online-only requirements. It was just yours. The new Skate is not a game, it's a service. You don't own it, you access it, and once the server's shut down, and they will, you lose everything. That's not even the worst part. The worst part is what live service does to a game like Skate. Let me show you what they had to change to make Skate work as a live service. Do you remember the Hall of Meat? Me too. It was one of the coolest things that they had in the Skate games. Slamming into the pavement and getting cartwheeled by cars mattered because you shattered bones. You bruised, sprained, dislocated, and scraped every part of your body, while Skate told you how many points you got, how far you fell, how much you rotated, and what your score was for breaking your body. Newsflash, that's not skating. And it's in Skate because that's half of what Skate is about. I'm so I haven't worn this thing in years. I'm so big for it, dude. It doesn't fit anymore. Skate 3 went as far as to make it its own game mode. You know what Skate has? Outside of the bail game mode, you have 3 types of slams. Inside of the game mode, you don't even get the red brakes or the white sprains. You're bouncy as hell for some reason. Hall of Meat wasn't there to be overly complicated. It was there to make failure fun. It made failure another part of the game that you could succeed at. Skate just gutted it. You slam, you wait until you come to a stop, and then you stand up and you keep on moving. We used to compete to see who could rack up the most body damage. We would go off the mega ramps just to look at the data spreadsheets. That creativity is gone, and I get that it could have been too violent or too confusing for new players, but damn it, dude, it was literally half of the game. Like, I get this, the flick stick controls are already a pretty big barrier to entry when it comes to complex systems, and adding another one on top of it could be a problem, but you could put it way later in the tutorial. You know what they could have done, and something that would have been so cool for the people that genuinely cared about Hall of Meat? Make it a competitive part of the game. Give me regional and worldwide leaderboards and breakdowns of the hardest slams with replays so I could watch the #1 slam in the US. If we're going with live service stuff, just give me daily, weekly, and monthly challenges for slams. I don't know anything like that. I just don't see in what world where getting rid of the system completely made the most sense. And that's not the only thing that they've gutted. They've gotten rid of death races completely. I'd like street contests back, and not just ones against other players, but against professionals like Rob Dyrdek and Danny Way. And I guess that there are regular challenges in the game, but getting it done and shutting it down just really aren't as cool compared to owning the spot and killing it. Again, I imagine killing it just didn't make it through the sanitation system that I imagine EA had in mind for this game. If you look at Grand Theft Auto, I just realized GTA is such a good comparison for something like this. You've got the main hub world, right, which is the city, and then you can go into different lobbies with your friends, or you can matchmake with randos. If you just set up death races like that, and just like, hey, you and 4 people join this lobby, now you get to race through the city. First place gets some tokens, second place gets XP, everybody gets a little bit of XP for playing. Like that, to me, that makes a ton of sense. Why on earth aren't we doing that? When Skate 2 came out, I got introduced to the world of skateboarding, right? So like I saw all of these professional skaters, Danny Way, Rob Dyrdek, others. And I imagine, a lot of these guys aren't around anymore, it's been 14 years. But imagine all of the new professionals that have come through that could have been added to the skate game and gotten more people interested in skateboarding in real life. I played Skate 2 Death Races the night I wrote most of the original script for this, and I made over $100,000 in about 2 hours. And I could go through and I could buy anything I wanted as far as outfits. I bought the Mega Park. You can't do that in Skate though. The only way you're going to get cosmetics or anything like that is if you give me your credit card number, the 4-digit PIN, and then the silly little numbers on the back. Speaking of, hey bud, wake up. We got dailies to do. Hop on that board, give me 3 kick flips, grind a rail for 25 feet, and then tell your dad you love him, and I'll give you some shiny little coins, and we're going to open up some loot boxes. I love gambling. Look, I get why they did what they did. Live service games print money. Single purchase video games don't get a fraction of that. Career modes have endings. But the high you get from doing dailies, I have some friends who do not miss a single day of their dailies. Live service games work because you buy the battle pass, you buy the cosmetics, you grind the missions, so when you spend money you feel like you've earned it, and you're going to come back tomorrow and the day after and the week after that and the month after that, and you're going to buy the battle pass, and you're just going to keep coming back and spending money on a game you don't even really want to do that for. So monetization isn't the only real problem I have. It's the heart and the soul of Skate is kind of just gone too. I hate bitching about this kind of stuff, and this might be the only part of the video that I don't have some sort of constructive criticism for or something positive to say about. You tell me, for the next 100 hours of gameplay, would you rather listen to this?
Not sure what you were doing, but I hope you washed your hands.
Or would you rather listen to this?
Well, obviously you went to go get some popcorn. Man, you should have done your chores before you turned the game on. See, you get in trouble. Now I gotta stand here and wait. Dude, this sucks.
Giovanni Luigi Retta is the personification of Skate 2's underground aesthetic and sound. And he's the reason a video camera is on the player for the first 2 games in Skate and Skate 2. V, on the other hand, is such a California meta Facebook, I'll have a chai latte, basic corporate AI designed to be as palatable for the average player as they possibly can be, and it is easily one of the worst parts of the video game. And while we're on the subject, I think we should take a look as to why San Amsterdam as a skate map does not work as well as it could. It's sterile. It's got this bland Sims 4 aesthetic that I am just not a fan of. The texturing is generic, the lighting is flat. San Vanalona in Skate 2 had grit, it felt real. This feels like a tech demo, and to be fair, we are in early access, but all the districts, as much as they flow together really nicely, they don't feel distinct. That's the big problem. They all look the same. In Skate 2, downtown, seaside, the dam, the mega ramps, they all had a different vibe. And here, I couldn't tell you where I was without looking at the map, aside from 2 key areas, maybe. And I know this wouldn't have saved the map or anything, but a day-night cycle would be so cool. Imagine rolling through a parking garage, and the only thing that's lighting up your way here is the fluorescent light above you. Rolling through the streets or on the sidewalk, and the only thing that's lighting up your way are car headlights, the street lamps, and office buildings. It would be so cool. It would give it atmosphere. It'd be a reason to come back to different spots at different times of day. I know I keep talking about it, but do you know the last Skate game to have a day-night cycle? It was Skate 2. And here's another thing from Skate 2 that's just missing. It was also missing in Skate 3, so I'm not going to fault them here for that. But security guards, you'd go and you'd find this 6 skate spot and you'd be like, okay, well, I got to rip through here. Well, oh shit, there's a security guard. I have to be fast, I have to land my trick, and I have to get out before they come by and they clothesline me out of my boots. I'm a big wrestling guy, what can I say? It was authentic to 2009 skateboarding, and it'll never happen in San Amsterdam because it's some sort of skater utopia, which doesn't even make any sense. If everybody rides skateboards, why on earth is there traffic? Why do everybody have cars? What are we doing? Why are we driving if we can skate? They made everything in the city feel bland and sanitized and boring. And the physics are fucked. In older skate games, you had problems too. You could run faster than you could skateboard in Skate 3, but now you can sonic roll. You can slide across the ground like you're sliding for home plate. You can launch yourself into the air for no reason if you get good at just a couple of button presses. And if you hit a ramp just wrong, you get sucked down into the ground like you're going 1,000 miles an hour. Not that this isn't piss my pants funny, because it is. It's genuinely hilarious to be able to roll around like Sonic the Hedgehog, or slide, or launch yourself into the air. But some of this stuff genuinely needs fixed in spite of how wet my pants are. Skate had 5 years to iron these bugs out, and they just haven't. And the game released 3 months ago, and instead of fixing the bugs between then and now, we're on the 2nd season of the Battle Pass. Look, I don't want to end this whole thing on just complaints, because here's the thing. When the game works, it really works. You remember when I was telling you about Jacob and the eagle statue? when he just started figuring out lines on his own, that's still in there. That moment-to-moment skating is genuinely great. When the game gets out of its way and you're just skating, this game is everything that I wanted out of a new skate. And there are a lot of problems to this game. There's a lot of stuff that I haven't even mentioned. Like the fact that I can place objects that other people have to interact with before they turn it off is miserable. Not proud of this one, but sometimes I'll just go around and I'll put down rails and watch people jump off of mega ramps and straight into the rails. And that's some of the funniest shit ever. I was watching Jacob do it. He figured out how to do it, and I didn't tell him how to do it, I swear. I watched him do it, and every time somebody would slam into the rails, he'd run up to him and start clapping. And, like, I was dying. But that's so bad. It's so bad that you could even do that. And the fact that I get so much enjoyment out of it kind of scares me, because it's a system that is fundamentally broken, and the regular game should keep my attention more than sneakily putting rails at the end of ramps to watch people just clip their skateboards and tumble all the way to the church to hit it and then fall to the ground. The game itself should keep my attention better than that. At some point, it could be a year from now, it could be 5 years from now, EA is going to look at the player count, and they're going to look at the revenue, and they're going to pull the plug. And the servers are going to shut down, and when that happens, the game's gone forever. And you'll lose everything. You'll lose the good skating, the cool spots, the moments like the ones Jacob had when he was just figuring out how to play the game. And the worst of all is that EA is going to blame us, the fans who begged them to bring skate back for over 10 years. And it's going to be our fault because we didn't support it enough. I love this series, man. Skate 2 got me into skateboarding. It introduced me to skaters I had never heard of. It made me guilt trip my grandfather into looking for a copy and then paying $60 for something used. I've been waiting 14 years for this video game, and somewhere past all of these menus and shops and the battle pass, there is a good game in there. I've played it. Jacob has played it. I just wish it got out of its own way to let me play it more often. Me and Jacob played for like 6 hours the other night and laughed our asses off the whole time. But everything around the actual video game is designed to just frustrate you and extract your money out of your pockets. And when the servers die, you don't just lose a bad video game, you lose something that could have been a good one, a great one. I wish that this game would be better than it is. I wish EA had just made Skate 4 a complete video game, one that I could own, one that would last. I wish Jacob's eagle statue moment came in the first 10 minutes he was playing, not after an hour and a half long tutorial. I wish that they kept Hall of Meat and Death Races and the grit that made Skate and Skate 2. I wished that they prioritized the skating over the battle pass, over the store. But they didn't, and that's what I can't get over. That it's not a bad game, but that it is almost a great game. If you play Skate regularly, I don't blame you at all. It's fun and it's a good time with friends, especially when you're trying to go for big air or you're stopping other people from trying to go for huge air. I just want to throw some extra names out there, just in case. Skater XL, Session, Skate 2 and 3 are fantastic. Skate Story looks incredible. There's always the classic Tony Hawk games too. There's a lot of media that if this isn't quite hitting for you, that you can go and seek out. I'll probably keep playing the new Skate anyway. Even though Hall of Meat is gone, even though I can't earn much of anything without a credit card, because when the game works, when you find that spot and you just figure it out. It's everything I waited 14 years for. I just wish that that was the whole game, not just pieces of it. So yeah, live service design is killing Skate. It hasn't killed it, it is killing it, present tense. There is a good game in there. I just don't know how long it'll survive. But I waited 14 years for Skate, and I can wait just a little bit longer to be able to play something more consistent. And membership shoutouts. Thank you to Foostar the Real 8611, my homeboy. This guy, that's an OG right there. This is the first ever member I've had on the channel. I've already thanked him once in my last video, but you know, I got to thank him again. It means a lot. You don't just throw money at somebody like this. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a wonderful couple of weeks. If you're looking for more of my stuff, you can check that out here, and you can subscribe down below, right there, or straight below me somewhere, down there somewhere. I'll see you.